Bitcoin has seen the largest liquidation event since the beginning of this year today. And we've seen that a massive amount of liquidations have been occurred. It's a total of $1.6 billion in long liquidations. And as I said, it's the largest amount to date. And that explains and gives a lot of insight into what happened today. And let's look at the Bitcoin chart. And we can see here Bitcoin has dropped around about 2.7% today, and we are currently approaching this major support and resistance line, which we've previously actually hit a few times. You can see this line here is around about the current price between 11.9 thousand to 12.2 thousand dollars per Bitcoin. And you can see we've previously come to this line and we've been rejected here. But once we've passed through, we've actually passed through really nicely. We've supported from the line here. And now it's very crucial to see what will happen next if we are going to again get support from this line. If not, it might be normal that we come down to this line, 100, around 107 to 108 thousand dollars per Bitcoin. And if we go below that line, then we might have to reconsider our positions. And I don't want to say it, but the bull market might be over. And it's very important to notice, I mean, we are in the end stage of the market, and the bull market will end very soon, in my opinion. So it's important to see now what will happen here. But another very good indicator that we can look at is the bull and bear market support bands. And these have historically always been very insightful. And as long as we are above these lines, we can say that we're in a bull market. But when we go below these lines, then we can say that we are entering a bear market. And if I zoom out a bit here and I go on the weekly chart, we can see that in the last bull market, actually, which was all the way in 2021, we have dropped below the bull and bear market support bands. And this was clearly an indicator that we're going into a bear market. But as long as we are above these lines, I believe that we are still in a bull market. And I can expect that we see another bounce here, a last final bounce in the bull market. Last time we've had a bounce of over 60%. I don't think it's going to be as high this time, but you can clearly see that we are all the time in this bull market, basically bouncing from the line. Here we've been going below for a few weeks, but we are currently still above the line. And if we can hold above this line here, then I think we're going to be doing fairly well. And another very nice thing to look at is comparing Bitcoin to gold. So if I overlay the gold chart here, if I overlay the gold chart, which you can see right here, then we can clearly see a divergence. And usually these divergences don't last long. So this is the 1 hourly time frame, and we can see here percentage rise, while the traditional stock market and gold have done new all-time highs recently. Bitcoin has now diverged from the gold price in terms of returns. And usually these divergences don't last that long. And in my opinion, and historically seen, Bitcoin always tends to go in the same direction as the general market. And I think this is just a final trap, a final push down to liquidate some longs before we again go higher and enter the last stage of the bull market. I want to show you guys one thing here. If you go to the daily chart, actually, and if you look at the halving cycles, I've mentioned this before, actually, these halving cycles. We are in the end stage of the bull market. The end stage is always seen in by these green lines, okay? And as these green lines come to an end, which is indicated by how many weeks we are past the halving, usually about 80 weeks after the halving, we see the end to the bull market, which was here in the last cycle. And now we are approaching this time again. And 80 weeks after the halving, I've mentioned this in the video before, is pretty much around end of October for Bitcoin. And another thing to notice here is that September usually is not the most bullish month. So it's no need to worry. Again, September usually is sometimes positive, sometimes negative. But then October, check out the month after. October is usually very bullish. And we call it Pumptober for a reason. And I believe that we're going to have a bullish October, and then according to also this theory, October is going to be bullish. And then most likely after that, I think we're going to go down for a prolonged period of time. And if we quickly look at Ethereum, for example, Ethereum has today also gone down almost to about $4,100, almost $4,000 today it came down to. This is also aligning with our previous support and resistance line. So the line is around about here. You can see we've been rejected from this line once, twice, three times. And now that we've passed through, we're actually looking to potentially bounce from the top side and bounce higher here. Now, if we do not manage to do so, if we do not manage to, bounce up from here, we can say that there's another support line here at this point. We can say, one second, this is around about $3,900, and if we do go lower from there, we have to look at this level here, which is around about $3,300. But if we do go lower than that, then that's another warning sign. But for now, according to our principle that the bull market will end about end of October, I strongly believe that this is a last trap, a last move downwards to liquidate a few longs, to then go higher, create a new all-time high. I think it's going to be around 135 to 140,000 per Bitcoin. And with that, the cycle, in my opinion, will end. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and found it insightful. If you did, be happy if you subscribe and leave a like. Otherwise, I see you guys in the next video. See you.